my name is Tofpik. I'm Head of Technical Analysis and Senior Markets Analyst at ADM Investor Services International Limited, and here is your daily technical analysis of foreign exchange markets. I'll start with the euro against the dollar. An indecisive spinning top yesterday, but one that could be also seen as a bullish harami. The range was defined by the support at the April 2017 low at 105.68, though once again the market shied away from really testing it at the last moment. Whilst above, well, the 2020 low at 106.35 capped the market, but not without being penetrated once again. Further down we have the significant February and March 2017 low at 104.92, and above we have the April 2020 low at 107.25 that capped the high of last week. Prices are still sitting patiently above the top of the previously influential upper time, currently at 103.94, of the broken January to May 2021 bearish Andrews pitchfork, which increases the questions about its future. As I have said many times already, I would normally retire such a pitchfork after 2 consecutive closes over or under it, but in this case I've made an exception, not just because of it becoming support, but for 2 other reasons. Firstly, this pitchfork has been broken many times on the lower time, currently at 96.53, yet each time it has repaired itself. Secondly, because of its long duration and lifespan, over a year and a half, I think there may be perhaps more to give from this pitchfork, so I'll keep it on here for a little while yet. Last week's rally managed to reach up to the April 2020 low at 107.25, but stopped short of testing or reaching target X3 at 107.65. And that's the secondary much harder if I'm honest, to reach target for the late September to mid-November ascending wedge pattern. This pattern is highlighted in dark blue on my daily chart. So far today, well, not that much. The market filled into yesterday's range, but has opted to come back to a little above where we started from, or finished from last night, if you like. Cable, aka sterling against the US dollar. A second consecutive indecisive pattern yesterday. This time it was an indecisive doji cross. Prices ended up again just under the Fibonacci and other congestion in the 121.50 area. Though, and this is the interesting bit, the market was very shy of trying down to the combination of slowly declining long moving average, currently at 120.79, and the May 2020 low at 120.73. Meanwhile above, well, we had a long tongue on the move up to the June 2020 low at 122.48. Beyond that, we have the 50% Fibonacci line of the June 2021 to September 2022 move at 123.16. Overall, the late September to late November ascending wedge pattern, currently at 118.53 to 120.18, is still the most relevant pattern influencing the market here. I've highlighted the trend lines for this pattern in dark blue to help visualize what is going on. Prices last week managed to reach the primary target for this pattern in the 124.20 area, though we still have opened the secondary harder to reach target X3 in the 128 even area. So far today, well, a wider range already, though not necessarily an indication of the direction. Prices have indeed dipped down towards a combination of the declining long moving average, currently 120.79, and a May 2020 low at 120.73, though so far we've not seen it being penetrated. Meanwhile overhead we still have the June 2020 low at 122.48 untested today, and over all of this we're still looking like an indecisive spinning top, possibly even an indecisive doji cross for today's action. Euro sterling. A bullish engulfing pattern yesterday, which wasn't that hard, as the previous session was an indecisive spinning top. This time the market closed back up and just over the April 2021 high at 87.19. This is a pretty much of a neutral response to last week's weekly key reversal up, though it is still early on. Below we have the lesser Fibonacci line at 86.98 and the more dynamic short-medium moving average currently at 86.79. Meanwhile above, well, we have some fairly clear air up to the peak of the old November roof pattern at the 50% Fibonacci line of the March 2020 to March 2022 move at 88.51. But I suspect we would need some solid closes over the April 2021 high to generate such a move higher. So far today, well, a significant move higher, and also a dip back below the April 2021 high at 87.19, though initially neither extreme seemed comfortable for the market. It was drifting back from the highs, but it's not started to move higher, and we're now approaching last week's high. US dollar against the Indian rupee. A bearish matching and second bearish black crow yesterday, plus a suitable follow-on lower to the previous session's bearish dark cloud cover pattern type. The market nevertheless continues its slog along the underside of the middle time, currently at 83.03 of the mid-September to mid-November bullish shift pitchfork. You can see the tines highlighted in bright red on my daily chart. Below we now have support from the rising short medium moving average, currently 82.06, which interestingly late last week made a golden cross with the rising short moving average, currently 82.14. Further down we have some interesting support from the open and close area around 81.90. Now, overall, prices are slowly approaching the mid-October all-time high at 83.26. The middle time will intersect with this high next week. So far today, well, a much lower open, though not as far as being a gapping move, but then we saw an immediate move higher over yesterday's high. That's making today, at this moment, look like a combined, well, was a bullish engulfing pattern. It's looking more like an inverted hammer pattern at the moment. Just moving in between those two sort of regions at the moment. US dollar against the Brazilian real. A bearish engulfing pattern yesterday, though only just. Prices once again capped by the late June to late September mildly bearish shift pitchfork. This is the one I have recently been having doubts over. Below the market, you have support from the combination of the largely sideways moving short medium moving average, currently at 526.95, which is just below the 50% Fibonacci line of the May 2020 to April 2022 move at 527.37. As I've previously often mentioned, this 50% Fibonacci line is not that good looking a support, with better support below at the combination of flatlining medium moving average, currently at 523.07, and the 50% Fibonacci line of the good-looking March 2021 to April 2022 move at 522.76. Overall, we've had 2 weeks of slowly moving higher prices, though still within the weekly key reversal down made 3 weeks ago, and capped in part by the upper time and in part by the extremes. The lesser Fibonacci line at 538.13. US dollar against the Mexican peso. A second consecutive indecisive spinning top with a contradictory slightly higher close but slightly lower low yesterday. I guess you could also call it a fourth bullish white soldier at a pinch. The top was once again capped by the declining medium moving average, currently at 1983.90 for the fifth time in the last week and a bit. Meanwhile, the base of the April low at 1971.68 was breached, but the better support below from the declining short medium moving average, currently at 1966.34, and a nearby middle time, currently 1964.64 of the March to May bearish shift pitchfork, the one highlighted in dark blue on my daily chart. Well, they were not even approached. Those two supports were not even approached. Overall, I am still pondering as to whether the action since late September, including the time crossover seen in late October, maybe, just maybe, a possible bump and run reversal bottom. Additionally, and this lines up with a possible bump and run reversal bottom idea, is whether the action of the last 3 weeks is a topping action of sorts or a possible bull flag. I need to think some more on all of this. Now, so far today, a very interesting move. A move higher, piercing the declining medium moving average and approaching last week's high at 1991.31, but then failing and dropping down to the April 2022 low at 1971.68. Thank you for listening. This short version broadcast gives the essential market patterns and consequences. Please be aware of the risk disclaimer posted with this broadcast. Copyright is Tofpik and ADM Investor Services International Limited. And here comes the final bit.